RLP is Room Locker Personnel Inspection, and what they do in the OCR, which is a guideline book that gives you how you will do everything for every minute of your life at OCS, and that includes when to use the bathroom, when to drink, how to carry your water bottle, how to walk, how to greet people, how to eat your food, when to eat your food. Every single minute detail of your life is planned. In this book is the entire layout of your hatch or your apartment, and in the book they tell you how to fold each of your clothes and the dimensions that each of the folds have to be folded to. So my shirts need to be folded 6 inches by 6 inches, all delinted, no loose threads, and everything secured in a tight, orderly fashion, along with all the names, my name stamped on every article of clothing in a certain way, in a certain location. So there's probably 40 different items that you have to stack and arrange in your room. And then you have to clean everything. When I say clean, I'm talking like it would surpass the OR rooms that I cleaned for the hospital. Like, it was ridiculous cleaning. Like, every inch of that hatch has been scrubbed with a Clorox wipe. The ceiling, the floor, the walls, all of it. Every single minute centimeter of it was scrubbed down. And they build up to this event that is a rollable event. So this is like the last one that can cause you to roll. And rolling means that you have to go back 2 weeks and start back over where you were 2 weeks ago. So basically you become an in-doc again and have to go through all the terribleness again. So you're scared to death to not pass this. On top of arranging your room perfectly, you have to memorize verbatim this knowledge out of the OCR. So, for example, the rank structure of the U.S. Navy, enlisted and officer side, the enlisted and officer rank structure for the Marine Corps, the articles of code of conduct and the orders of the century, the warfare insignias, and the big collection of different things that you have to know for verbatim. So what happens is that morning at 6 a.m. or 0600, they call parade attention. So basically, you run out in front of your hatch. Your hatchmate's on the other side of the door from you, and you're standing at parade rest. And then these drill instructors, probably 6 drill instructors and 6 chiefs. These are the guys that can yell at everyone. These are the guys that can be ballistic with anyone on campus. They come running down the hallway, and they just pick a room and they shoot into the room, and they start inspecting it. So my hatchmate and I, Jorgensen, we had spent all night up cleaning and just getting every last little detail. We slept on the floor because we made our racks and we ironed them. Our racks are our beds. We ironed them with an iron, got the sheets perfectly crisp. We measured them with rulers. Everything was dimensioned perfectly. And we didn't want to mess anything up, so we ended up sleeping on this linoleum floor that was well worth it in hindsight. And we rolled our mats up. We got our uniform all squared away. Every little detail of the uniform was perfect. And we get out on the line. What do we have to wear?
Were you in your blue camos?
Yeah, my NWs. Yeah, the camo blue ones. Yeah, so we're out there with our hats, and they start. I hear from down the hall, "All right, let's do this!" And then all of a sudden, everyone just snaps to attention, and this tension builds in the air, and you can hear them marching down the hallway, and you can hear them coming, and like, you've been thinking about this moment for the last 5 days. You've been prepping for this moment, and so the stress is just tangible. Like, you're just shaking, like your body is. And the thing is with these guys is you have to show intensity. So you have to scream at the top of your lungs at these guys right in their face. Like, release every ounce of volume that your body can muster right into their face. So they come hauling down the hallway, and I'm like, oh, they're going to go to someone else first. And Gunnery Sergeant Clark squares off in front of my room. Gunnery Sergeant Clark is the #1 person that's known for failing people RLP. He will rip people to pieces. And I'm like, oh no. And he goes in our room, and he rips our locker open. You can hear cabinets, everything banging around, and she starts pulling clothes out of the closet. He's like, -1 for improper fold, -1 for contraband, -1 for improper labeling. And I'm just like, oh no. And he comes out, and then what they do is they come over to you and they square off in front of you. And what that means is they stand in front of you, and then they click their heels together real loud. And you're supposed to give the greeting of the day, which is, good morning, Gunnery Sergeant, Indoctrination Candidate Hilliard, room Mike 373. And then and then he says, hand salute, and you pole salute. So my hatchmate, Jorgensen, went first, and he squares up in front of him, pulls to attention, and he says, good morning, Staff Sergeant in Documentation Cadet Jorgensen. And he's like, Staff Sergeant, I'm not a Staff Sergeant, I'm a gunnery sergeant. He's like, get in your room right now. And he goes in there, and I just hear him screaming. I can't understand what he's saying. He's like, aye, gunnery sergeant, aye, gunnery sergeant. And meanwhile, everyone else in the hallway is just going crazy. Like, there's yelling going everywhere. You can't even hear yourself think. And all I can think in myself is, gunnery sergeant, not Staff Sergeant, call him a gunnery sergeant. So he finishes his little thing. He's like, fine, get out in line. And then Jorgensen runs out, and I look over at him. There's just sweat just all over him. He's just completely done with. And Gunny comes over, squares off to me, and I'm so focused on gunnery sergeant that I come to attention and I forget to move my hands from parade rest to attention. And so my hands are still behind me. And he's like, I'm like, good morning, gunnery sergeant, Documentation Hilliard. And he cuts me off. He's like, you've got to be kidding me. He's like, that's not how you stand at attention. He's like, Hilliard, I'm going to lose my mind. And he's like, right in my face. I'm like, aye, gunnery sergeant. Aye, gunnery sergeant. He's like, get in your room. And I'm like, aye, gunnery sergeant. And I run between the two racks. He's like, get back out here. I run back out. And he's like, give me a ruler. And I run back in, and there's a certain spot in our room where you have to put the ruler. And so I was like, I ran to that spot, and he'd moved it. The gunnery sergeant had moved my ruler while he was in my room expecting it. So now I'm like searching everywhere. Meanwhile, he's screaming at me like, why aren't you up here? What are you doing? Hurry. And I'm like digging through everything. I finally just reach over and grab my hatchmate's ruler and run it out to him. And he's like, go get between your racks. And I run over and start to get to my racks, and then he starts having me do run in place. So I'm running in place. I'm doing jumping jacks. He picks up my rifle. He's like, "What's the serial number off your rifle?" And I recite it back to him. He's like, "All right, fine." And then he comes over. He's like, "Get on your face." And I'm like, "Okay." So I get on my face, like, "On your feet." I get back on my feet, "On your face, on your face, on your feet." I do that like 10 times. So the side story of this is I ate a huge breakfast because I wasn't thinking. So I ate like orange juice, 2 cups of apple juice, bacon and eggs and toast and all this stuff, and I wanted energy or whatever. And so during these up downs, I could feel my stomach starting to turn. I was like, oh no. And so he's screaming at me, and he's like, up, down, and he's like, I screwed up one of the knowledge things because I mixed enlisted and officer ranks in the Marine Corps, and so he's like, -1 for that, and I was like, oh crap, I'm going to fail. So I'm sitting there doing push-ups on the ground. It's been about 6 minutes into this thing, and I can feel it. I'm like, this is coming up. I'm like, usually I can force it down because of swimming. I got that feeling all the time. I can just swallow it back down. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let it come. So I just hurled all over the floor. I just puked all over the floor. And he turns around, and I'm doing push-ups in my puke at this point, just pushing up and down. And he comes over, he's like, Hilliard, on your feet, you're done. I'm like, gunnery sergeant, and I stand up, and he walks over the wall, and he has to like lean on the wall because it's now made him nauseous. So he's like about to puke. I'm like breathing, I'm just dying over there. And he's like, post up. He's like, close your hatch door and get in there and shut up. And I close my hatch, and Yorgi walks in. He's like, oh man, that's pretty bad. So we didn't know if we passed until we got back from lunch that day. And so we got back from lunch. We were sitting in the classroom, and they're like, the following people come out in the hallway, and they read off a list of names, and I wasn't one of them. And I was like, oh, thank the heavens above.